Hi, my name is Farshad Refutation.MPG, and I'm here to talk to you about the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge issue in Alaska. My opponent's main claim was that drilling in ANWR for oil would have significant negative impact on the national park, but I'm obviously against that claim. I believe that it isn't going to affect it that significantly. In his argument, my opponent says that oil development and production in the 1002 area would have major effect on the porcupine caribou herd and other animals, but according to the National Wildlife Refuge Organization, wildlife other than caribou such as bears, wolves, and moose use the coastal plains area infrequently and would be unaffected by development. Population of these animals and others that live on the coastal plain are healthy and increasing despite 3 decades of development at the Prudhoe Bay. Oil and gas development on the coastal plain would be temporary, and the long-term ability of the habitat for wildlife would not be affected. He also fails to mention how the United States could save billions of dollars from producing oil from ANWR and not buying from abroad. According to the Arctic Power, Alaska, and in particular ANWR, is a good example of America's habit of locking up its own resources while buying more from abroad. Along the coastal plains of ANWR is a good example. Along the coastal plains of ANWR, known as the 1002 area, lies what the USGS estimates is probably the largest concentration of onshore conventional oil reserves in North America. Being onshore, development in ANWR area is technically safer to produce, and developing offshore oil fields such as those being explored in Beaufort Sea. This means that it's not just logical, but also safer to supply oil and gas to the nation from the most promising and closest fields first, which is ANWR. And my third claim is that ANWR has many economic benefits for the United States. According to the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, the coastal plain could produce up to 1.5 million barrels per day for at least 25 years, and which is nearly 25% of the current daily U.S. production. The U.S. would save about $14 billion per year in oil imports, and between 250,000 to 735,000 jobs are estimated to be created by the development of the coastal plain. So in closing, the drilling in ANWR would not have a significant negative impact on the national park and would also benefit the United States economically. Thank you.
Well, you ID the advocate's main point, but the secondary claims are not fully developed. The first one you start to talk about, it is labeled. The evidence that you cite actually makes it sound like it supports the advocate's position, because other than the caribou that you're talking about, other species haven't had any of these problems. But it sounded like the advocate's point was specifically about the caribou, and I'm not sure that you had any information that applied in particular to that issue, and I think that you needed to develop that a little bit more. And then that's the last point that we have any reference specifically to what the advocate talked about. After that, we just have counterclaims about what the benefits are of drilling in ANWR, and you've divided them into 2 secondary issues, but I'm not exactly sure how they're different. You just start reading information, and it sounds like sometimes there's an argument about the economy, sometimes it's about independence, sometimes there's some safety issues that are being discussed, but you need to make those much more clearly organized declarative claims. I thought you had some pretty good evidence on the quantity of oil and some of the safety issues that you're talking about there, but the application to the advocate's point was not very clear. All right, thank you.